Picture a typical fourth-grade classroom. It's loud, chaotic. In the center of the room, one boy is standing up, talking over the others, interrupting every conversation to make sure he's the one directing the game. 2 desks over, the environment is entirely different. Another student sits frozen. While the room spins around him, his body is rigid, his hands locked into tight fists under a desk to hide a quiet, surging panic. When the teacher asks a third student what game she'd like to play, she simply shrugs. She looks away, mutters that she doesn't care, and shrinks down in her chair to avoid any further engagement. And in the back corner, a fourth child says nothing at all. She watches the teacher, watches the loud boy, and carefully calculates exactly who she needs to sit next to, so she can get the blue marker without ever having to ask for it out loud. It is easy to look at these students and assign them labels: the bossy kid, the anxious one, the difficult one, and the manipulator. But these visible actions are doing a very specific job. They are forms of emotional armor, built to protect the child wearing them. Look closer at the Latina girl in the back corner. At home, when she asks for help with her homework or tells a parent she is hungry, her direct requests are met with silence or deep sighs of annoyance. This flowchart shows the brain's equation of adaptation. Direct requests terminate abruptly in rejection. To survive, the brain calculates a new route. Dropping hints and waiting to be noticed becomes the only reliable path to safety. Fast forward 20 years. In her adult relationships, she hesitates to state her needs clearly. She drops hints to her partner, withdraws, and waits for them to read her mind to get what she wants. Society labels this adult behavior as manipulation, but it does not come from a desire to harm or trick her partner. It is a deeply ingrained reflex, designed long ago to protect a little girl from the pain of being ignored. Now consider the loud boy directing the classroom. He grew up in a crowded, chaotic house with 5 siblings. When he spoke at a normal volume, no one heard him. When he waited his turn never came. His young brain observed these rules and formed a stark, logical conclusion. If he does not aggressively push his way into the center of the room and command attention, his needs will not be met. If he does not take up maximum space, he will practically disappear. 2 decades later, he sits in a corporate conference room. He cuts off his colleagues mid-sentence. He dictates the agenda and strictly controls every presentation. He is dominating the meeting, but the goal is rarely to oppress his coworkers. He is running a subconscious script, overcompensating in a professional setting to guarantee he is never left unseen again. Think back to the student who shrugged off the teacher's question. As a young Asian girl, whenever she displayed natural frustration or raised her voice, an authority figure responded immediately with sharp, severe punishment. She learned quickly that honest anger invites danger. Displaying any outward disagreement makes her a target, so she shuts down her direct emotional responses entirely to survive. But the body cannot simply erase an emotion. It experiences emotional leakage. The frustration is forced into a highly pressurized container, escaping outward through heavy sighs, extended silences, or physical distance. Today, when a friend arrives an hour late to dinner, her arms are crossed tight against her chest. Her jaw is clenched. Yet, when asked if she is upset, she forces a flat smile and says everything is perfectly fine. Society calls this passive aggression. In reality, it is a highly effective, deeply reinforced protective mechanism for a person who learned early on that telling the truth about their anger would put them in harm's way. Consider the multiracial boy paralyzed by panic under his desk. His origin story begins with caregivers who corrected his mistakes by attaching brutal character judgments to them. A spilled cup of milk was treated as undeniable proof that he was clumsy, foolish, and inherently worthless. To survive this repeated emotional crushing, his mind builds a massive firewall. He develops an instinctive physiological reaction to stop incoming criticism at the gate, immediately tensing up and deflecting blame to avoid absorbing any more deep personal shame. As an adult, his manager casually points out a small typo in a weekly report. His heart rate spikes. He immediately snaps back, listing reasons why the error wasn't his fault, reacting as though he is under physical attack. To him, the manager's feedback is not neutral information about a document. It is processed instantly as a severe personal threat. His body is reacting to the past, where a small correction always carried the weight of total rejection. Over decades, these brilliant, life-saving childhood adaptations do something dangerous. They harden. The armor fuses to the skin, and we begin to mistake these defensive reflexes for our permanent, unchangeable adult identities. The cycle breaks only when we pause to inspect the environment around us today. The critical intervention happens when we look at our partner or our colleague and realize the room we are standing in is actually safe. The old armor is heavy, and we no longer need to wear it. It starts with a single moment. An adult feels the urge to interrupt, or to go silent, or to snap defensively. But instead, they catch the reflex. They take a slow breath. They intentionally lower their shoulders and choose to answer directly. When we finally trace the origins of the actions that frustrate us the most, we replace harsh judgment with compassionate awareness. We stop fighting the symptom, and we give ourselves the space to finally interrupt the pattern. Behavior is not random. It echoes.